welcome to the Thank You for Playing podcast. Once again with your hosts, Lambo, Toro, and BLJ. What's up, fellas?
Yes. I just want to say I'm feeling
up,
good,
everybody?
feeling great, feeling good. You know what I mean?
Good.
Yeah.
You feeling as good as that shirt's looking?
In the words of my wise, oh yeah, mug is player.
You know what I'm saying? Out here flexing on them one time, you know?
I was pretty
Got the
fresh.
floor print on them, you know what I mean?
Woo!
In the words of my wise words of my friend BLJ, it is good to be back. It is good to be back.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
I hope this podcast find everybody well. Give a special shout out to my boy Looney. He's doing his conspiracy notes at home on his whiteboard. He thinks I'm a weeb, so he went
What
out
up,
and he
Looney?
bought me this shirt.
Pretty
So
nice shirt. You
apparently
got
I'm
some
gonna
good
make
taste
weeb. I
there,
don't even
Looney.
know what that is, but yeah.
Weren't you
I'll be
the one a
Weeb
few episodes
Night,
back that was like,
part of
oh,
Weeb
Weeb
Nation.
Nation, stand up. I'm with you.
No, that was like maybe like what? I even said for now, that was probably like
Oh, for
what,
now.
15 episodes ago.
You turned
It was
against
still-
them already, huh?
Yeah, it was a temporary allegiance. Yeah. So what's on the menu tonight? Like,
Man, we got a lot to talk about today.
What are we talking about?
While we were pre-gaming,
All right, cool.
you know, there's quite a few things to discuss. There's been a lot of news come out, and we need to hurry up
Lot
and
of
get to
news.
those things, you know, while it's hot. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of Tekken news, especially.
You sound very excited to discuss that news.
Hey, I'm super excited because I got this shirt on. I'm with my bros right now. You know what I'm saying? And Bonius is in the house. Say what's up, girl.
And Boney.
you know how we doing it. You know what I'm saying? Look at her dancing across the screen. She crazy. She crazy.
Yeah, Lee.
Man, sit down there, Bonius. Ain't got time for you right now. You know what I'm saying? Up here flexing on her. She said, because I got this shirt on, that's why she acting like that. You know what I'm saying?
Square business.
That's what it is.
All right. But no, everything's good though. Everything's good. Everything's
Oh,
good.
man.
You're going to have people out
Good.
there, hey, get to the pod already.
Right. This intro's too damn
Well,
long.
sure.
Well, that's too
Let's
damn
get to it
bad.
then. Let's get to
All
it
right,
then.
let's
You
get
know
to
what I
it.
mean?
Lead us up with that question
well,
of the
check
week,
it out.
BLJ.
Question for you young men.
There it is.
Yo, name a time. Name a time when you played a game, right? And then the next iteration of the game stepped away from the building blocks of the first game that were maybe amazing or very good. Did the steps that they took towards the next game, was it good or was it bad for the newer game?
So this sounds kind of similar. It sounds kind of similar to the question of the week, I think, like 2 pods ago. But I can give another example. Remember I was telling you about Dynasty Warriors Strike Force?
Yep.
I can give you a controversial one. You might use the same one that I use, but I'm a do a comparison of Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 5. Now, we all know they had focus attack dash cancel and they had the links and, you know, they had the ultra, right?
Yeah.
Or revenge beater, right? You know, 5, focus attack dash cancel was not there anymore. A lot of people did not like that. And what did they introduce instead? The V trigger, right? And that was a polarizing
The whole
change.
V system, yeah.
Many people. Yeah. And
It was
the
ugly.
combo system was kind of watered down, which, I didn't mind the combo system, but I do feel like they took a step backwards. It really wasn't a step forwards. But, you know, I wasn't the only one that expressed discontent with that change. But here we are, Street Fighter 6. So we'll leave Street Fighter 5
On the
where it's at.
horizon.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But the answer to your question is, like I said, I mentioned earlier, this will be a question of the week I don't really elaborate on, but I feel like it was a step backwards instead of a step forwards.
Preach. I feel the same way. Get that out of here.
Yep.
Street Fighter 5.
So
yes.
I got one, but I think I'm probably gonna get a lot of flack for this one. So
you can't
like
get more
Mario
flack
games.
than me saying I didn't like Batman the animated series.
Yeah, you did get a lot of flack for that one.
Yeah.
Probably deserved, but
Yeah.
But so I like the Mario games, right? Like I played, all the Mario 1, 2, 3, Super Mario World pretty extensively when I was a kid. And then I never had an N64 growing up, so I never really played Mario 64. Don't hate me. I didn't have a chance, okay? The first time that I actually got around to playing a 3D Mario game was Mario Galaxy. And I was not a fan. Everybody talked so good about that game, and like I didn't even play it when it came out. I played it a few years later. And I was looking forward to getting into it and having some fun with it, and I could not get into it. I did not like it at all. I don't know if I just don't like 3D Mario and I just like the, side to side Mario, but I couldn't get into Galaxy. But I still want to try some of the other ones. So for me, Galaxy was a step back.
So I'm guessing. Gotcha. So I'm guessing you didn't play Sunshine or Odyssey, any of those?
Nope. Never had a GameCube. I do have a Switch, but I haven't got around to playing Odyssey. I do want to try it. Like, I want to give it a chance. And, if, for the same reason, everybody says it's good. But I haven't got around to playing it yet.
Okay.
So.
Cool. Right on.
Tomatoes are coming my way now.
I guess it's my go. I guess it's my go. So, you young men, let me tell you about a game that I played. Actually, two.
Uh-oh.
And I'm going to tell you about the third iteration. I was just like, bro, what is this? What are you doing? Okay. So check this out. Are you guys familiar with Def Jam Vendetta?
Yep.
Yes. The first two games is wonderful. So I'm going to listen to your story. But yeah.
All right. So check this out. Def Jam Vendetta was a great game. It was built by the same people who did the Nintendo 64 wrestling games, which were great wrestling games. You know what I mean? They're called Aki, right? Something like that, right? Aki. They did a really good job on Def Jam Vendetta. That game was really cool because it was very similar to the old popular wrestling games. And on top of that, it had rappers in there. So you could play as Ludacris, DMX. It was pretty dope, right? I remember one of my most favorite things in the game is how you did the specials. It's something that feels so right about getting your special meter up and then grabbing them and then flicking the stick to do your special move. It just feels so right. You know what I mean? So anyways, that game was great.
Feels good to flick the stick and get what you want out of it.
Oh, exactly. So then the second version of the game came out, Def Jam Fight for New York, right? They changed up the system a little bit, quite a bit actually, but they changed it for the better, I'd say. They went from a good game to like a great game, right? The gameplay was a little bit different. They didn't really, you could still fight in a ring, like a wrestling ring, but they also had like outdoor stages and you can use weapons and it was all kind of craziness, right? Loved the game. Very fun. Had different rappers in there. Was a great time, right? I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but let me go to game number 3. And that was Def Jam Icon. Did you guys ever play that one?
I played it for a grand total of maybe like 10 minutes. But there was this cool part where Mike Jones was on the answer machine. And at the end, he was like, who? Mike Jones. That's the highlight of that game with me. Than the 10 minutes I played. But it was still cool. Shout out to Mike Jones, you know.
What about you, Lambo? Did you play Def Jam Icon?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, back then, I remember when the game came out, I played it, and I was not that much of a fan of it. At the time, the graphics were, I would say, top tier. You know, I remember it was a graphic upgrade from Fight for New York. But that's kind of where it stopped for me. The gameplay was like way worse. It was way slower. They didn't even have specials in the game anymore. Like there was no more like signature moves. Like it was really bad, right?
Yeah.
But
Stripped it down.
there was a couple of things I felt like they did that was very cool, but it was just executed not the best, right? So in the game, when you play, because there's rappers in the game, right? So they have their music playing in the background, right? So at certain parts of the music where there's like a lot of bass, the stage would actually like explode, kind of like if there's a fire hydrant, the fire hydrant would explode. If there's a car in the back, the cars are like a wiggle, whatever. It was like some weird mechanics or whatever, but you could use that to your advantage. So say there's a certain part of the song that's coming up that you know the stage is going to explode or whatever. You could throw the characters into one of these like hazard zones, and when the song would hit that thud, that bass, the stage would like blow up and you would cause damage to the other characters, right? So that was pretty cool. Great idea. But I just felt like it was executed poorly. They went away from the fast gameplay of Fight for New York. They went from the gameplay of Vendetta, and they just went in a totally different direction. And the game was dumpster juice. Big dumpster fire. You know what I'm saying? I was
and
not
one of
a
the
fan.
issues with that is you're saying if you know the song, you can throw people into the wall at the right time. But for people who don't know the songs and don't memorize them, then they're at a disadvantage when playing against people who do.
All right, so check this out. You're very correct. You're correct. They also had this one mechanic in there where you would hold like, I think it was L1 or L2. And when you hold the button, your character will stand there almost like he's turning the turntable, right? So while you're holding the button,
right,
you do one rotation of the right stick and one full rotation, and the left stick and one other rotation, it'll make like a scratch noise. And when you do it just right, your character like throw his hands down like this, and then you can make the screen like explode on command, which was pretty cool, you know. But like I said, it was
that's not too bad.
Just So you didn't really have to memorize the songs. I mean, it was pretty dope if you could memorize the songs, but that's kind of where it stopped though. The story was bland. It was not that cool, man. I can give you a long list of why it wasn't that bad. I don't want to bore the audience with it, but
we need to have another special.
Just know they definitely went away from what made the game special, what made the game fun, and they just kind of ruined it, right? Yeah, so that's my pick. But I bring up
Vendetta
that
was the
because
one I played the most of.
Vendetta was good. Vendetta, that was actually a wrestling game. Like Fight for New York was more of a fighting game, but Vendetta was actually a wrestling game, and it was really good. It was really good, really good. But I bring that up to say there was a light announcement today that I heard about, actually a couple days ago. But I guess my man Snoop Dogg is trying to bring back a fighting game with rappers in it, very like based off of Fight for New York gameplay. So right now the name of the game is going to be called Death Row. I don't know if you guys know this, but he bought the Death Row license maybe like a year or two ago. So now he's trying to make a new game, and
he
that's
owns
the
Death Row
name
Records?
for it. Yeah.
Huh.
I think he owns
I
Death Row
didn't know that.
Records. Or he just bought it. Yeah, something like that. Or he bought a percentage of it, something like that. But yeah. So right now, like there's a little light announcement that it's in the development right now. So there's really no trailer for it, but there are some game models of Cardi B, the game, Pop Smoke. Like they have the character models and stuff like that already out there. So if he's
as long as
basing the
they
game
bring
off
back
of Fight
where
for
you
New
can
York,
create a character.
yeah. That's my favorite part of wrestling games, is actually creating characters.
I will say this, RIP to Pop Smoke. If y'all were or not aware, he passed away, a while ago, within last year. I believe it was last year. Y'all that know y'all facts, my lore is not that strong on that, but I do know that Pop Smoke is no longer, alive or whatever. So you saying his game files are in the game. I'm wondering how they're going to go about that,
Well,
putting him in the game.
I'm
Like, is somebody
assuming.
else going to be forcing him?
Well, I'm assuming, right? So obviously, they probably have to go through the estate or the family or whatever to say like, "Hey, I want to use his likeness in the game," and they're like, "Okay, whatever." Because there's a in-game model, not in-game model, but there's a model of his character,
Because another thing, and I ain't gonna elaborate on the question of the week. Like I said, I pretty much asked, but I was talking to Lambo about this. This AI voice thing is kind of scary. Like, you can look on YouTube and the three of our nation's presidents are arguing on Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, and it sounds eerily like them. It sounds like them like a lot. Yeah, eerily accurate. That's the word I'm looking for.
It's
so
funny,
maybe
though.
they'll do that. Like, they might generate his voice through AI. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I know you'll keep us. I know you'll keep us posted on that, so we'll see.
Yeah, man, I was a big fan of Fight for New York, man. So if there's a game coming out that's like going to be based on like the gameplay of that, like I would hope if it's the same, they just do some things to make it better than the last. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely keeping my eye on that one because I was a big fan of Fight for New York. Very fun game, very fun.
Cool.
But what else is on the list? What else are we talking about?
Man, where do y'all want to start?
Get mine out the way, man. Man, I'm gonna go ahead and start, man. Out of all of us, I know BLJ, you what am I trying to say? I'm lost for words today, but you jump in and out, you play it a little bit, but I'm been on KOF 15, kind of heavy, right?
Yeah.
So Evo Japan is going on right now. And they've had a ton of reveals, right? But one reveal that really took me by surprise. First off, KOF 15, it's a very unique game. SNK has had quite a ride trying to keep the brand and their characters, trying to keep it alive, It has not been smooth. King of Fighters 14 came out and it got harsh criticisms, the gameplay, the graphics. I was not popping off on KOF 14, but I like the game, I like the characters. So a couple years later, they come out with KOF 15, which I think it actually debuted last year. And their motto is shatter expectations or shatter all expectations or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So like half a year ago or something. I can't remember exactly when they did it, but they added a new mode called Boss Rush or something like that. And they introduced us to Omega. Some people say it's Rugal. I just say Rugal. I've always called him Rugal. So if I'm slaughtering his name, I hope those who know his name don't bang their head against the wall. But, just for convenience, I'm going to say Rugal. But Omega Rugal, they introduced him to the game, and he's a powerhouse. He has his infamous anti-air attack, the genocide cutter. He has the laser from his eye and all this good stuff. Something that's cool about that is
OP.
They put him in the game. Yeah, for sure. OP. They put him in the game. And if you beat him in the boss rush, you unlock the character, I believe. I think that's it. Or you already get to get him. You just have to beat him to unlock his alternate costume. It's something like that. Anyways, they've continued that tradition with an announcement of Evo Japan. In Evo Japan. I don't know why I'm brain farting right now, but in Evo Japan, they continued the announcement. Maybe it's BLJ's charming smile got me all tongue-tied. But they revealed a character. His name is Gonitz. And I was pretty excited when they revealed him to be, coming to the KOF 15 roster. He's a very polite person. He's one of the 4 heavenly kings, and that's probably as good as it gets. After this, I'm just going to say he's corrupt. I believe he has a mission to resurrect Orochi. He controls the wind. And whatever that is. Actually, right here, there's a game called SVC Chaos, and I'm such a nerd. I actually have the strategy guide. You know, shout out again to my boy Looney. But in
Looney's
that game,
coming through all over the
you
place
can play
today.
survival mode. Oh yeah, that's my boy. But you can play survival mode and unlock these two characters. One of the characters was Athena, and she comes in different forms in each game. But in this game, Athena is actually really a goddess. And in order to unlock her, you have to beat everyone in survival mode. And what that has to do with Gonitz is when you play survival mode, you have to hope that you face him early. Because if you face him towards the end, he is a pain in the ass. He is the gatekeeper of gatekeepers. And oh yeah, the CPU is way too high. And for y'all's convenience to this story I'm telling, I'm gonna freeze it right here. Let the lights go dark. However we do it, and I'm gonna show you Gonitz and some of his moves and his attacks right here. All right, so did y'all see how cheap he was? Like, that was just me in training showing you some of his moveset. But picture those tornadoes that you saw coming at you like every second, and they're properly placed and you can't move or he'll warp over there to you. But I'm excited that he's going to be in KOF 15. I know that his Boss Rush version, his Boss Rush version is going to be super cheap, but hopefully they balance him out and he's a fun character to play.
Hey, quick question.
And Kim drops this week, so I'm excited about that too. What's up? What you
got? So you said SVC Chaos, right?
Yes.
So I played SNK. What was it? SVC. Marvel versus what's the one? Capcom versus SNK or whatever.
Capcom versus SNK and Capcom versus SNK.
Yeah, okay, so I played that one, and then I played SVC Chaos as well. I played SVC Chaos. I ain't gonna lie, maybe a total of like an hour or something like that. Actually, when I came down to visit you or whatever. But
okay,
what's the main difference between them? Because they play differently, even though they're both like Street Fighter and SNK.
One is published by Capcom, and the other one is published by SNK. SVC Chaos, I'm gonna flex this guide again because it's so brand new.
Just like how
this one,
Street Fighter cross Tekken and Tekken cross Street Fighter was supposed to be.
Yeah. See, as SNK, this one is built from the ground up by SNK. The graphics are SNK. The control scheme is SNK. Capcom versus SNK is Capcom game.
Okay.
But this, out of the two, I love Capcom versus SNK. But this one has a special near and dear place in my heart because when we were younger, you know, we didn't have 40-hour jobs back then. We were going to school. So we didn't have that many games. And my brothers, my cousins, my high school friends, we really, you know, played this game and was sweaty at it, you know. And to my surprise, like later on, you know, I used to go to the library and look up internet stuff. I didn't have a PC, you know, back then. But people was genuinely talking down on this game, talking about they didn't like it. It felt this, it felt that. But Lambo will tell you even now, I'm not a review guy. I have to experience it, you know, pretty much for myself.
Himself.
And to this day, you see the guide, I still play. I still play SVC Chaos to this day. So I like it.
And it's funny that you said everybody talks down on it.
Has appeared.
I was gonna say it's funny you say everyone talks down on it because every time I hear SVC Chaos brought up, it's people talking about how much they love it and how great it was. I don't think I've ever heard anybody talk bad about it.
We are an alternate. Oh yeah, we are an alternate universes. Then if they talk about Chaos, because people definitely, it's a cult classic. So I don't know.
And before we jump on,
I'm just hanging around the right cult members.
Before we jump on to the next topic or whatever, I just want to applaud you, man, for having a guide to a game. Like that's like a lost treasure these days. Like, they don't make guides anymore for games. Like, you want to see a guide for a game, you got to go on YouTube or maybe just word of mouth or something like that. And like right now, and before you
can't even go to game facts
if
anymore.
I could do it right now, like, even if there's games that I know I can't play right now, if there was a way that I could still buy guides right now, I would still buy them just to have them. Like, if I can get like
a lot of games still release with guides, though.
Guide or like you say what?
Not like this. They do, but not like this. Boy, I keep throwing people like, man, we don't see it. But like, look at the artwork and stuff like that.
Yeah, so a lot of games still do release with guides. Like a surprising number of them, even though the internet's a thing. But
I guess
there
I'm talking about,
a lot
like,
of guides
what was
released.
the one that used to have? What's the one that used to have, like, Prima strategy guys? They don't do those anymore.
Prima,
yeah, those. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, they don't really make those.
Yeah. I don't know, man. But like, if I could just have like a Grand Theft Auto Vice City guide right now, even though I'm not going to play the game ever again in life, but if I could just have a copy of that, like, I would just love to just have it for multiple games, actually.
A lot of the times, the strategy guides, the big strategy guides, that's what he's talking about. And I agree with you because a lot of those guides were made with love, especially the editor's note in the beginning saying how much fun they had playing through the game. And we hope you enjoyed this walkthrough. They were like, we work very hard to provide you with the best strategies, routes available, happy playing and stuff. I know what you're talking about. And Lambo poke fun at me all the time. Says I'm vanilla. But I am. Like, this stuff is like nostalgia to me. I'm not even a huge collector. I'm not. But I will go to our local store. We have a local store here, and it's called FX. And I will go to this store, and if I'm like you, if I see a strategy guide, even if it's to a game that I'm not, like, I don't plan on playing, but I've played it before, I'll get that guide. I have to find it. I don't think I dreamed it up, but I think I have a Jade Empire strategy guide as well somewhere. So I have quite a few guides, and I'm like you. I love the nostalgia factor, and I can go in and look at the artwork,
Yeah.
So
I'm not gonna lie to you,
right
man.
there.
I'm kind of jealous, man. Like, I'm just thinking about it right now as you speak, and there's so many games I would just love to have. If I can have like 50 of them right now, But no, that's great that you got one though. I like that. That's cool.
You can get them, but they overcharge the hell out of them now. Like, they be selling those guides for like $70. Not even hardback. They'd be like paperback, and they're like $70. So yeah, ain't no telling how much that one is worth. But yeah, they're up there.
A lot of money.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, lost treasure, man. Lost treasure, man. What else is on the menu? What else we speaking about?
Yeah. Well, y'all lead me. I'm letting y'all lead the charge. But I guess since I'm sitting here running my mouth, we were talking about it. Every time we bring up Tekken, the day after we record, they drop more Tekken-related news in our laps.
Every time.
We got quite a bit. We're like 4 characters behind. And there's also something that VLJ wished upon a star, and they brought into Tekken 8. So, what you got?
To be fair, it's not our fault that we're 4 characters behind. They are releasing character trailers like they're going out of style, almost like the game's coming out within 6 months. But not really our fault, It's a once a week show. We can't.
Hey, at this point, man, they've been releasing trailers like every 3-4 days, like kind of crazy.
Yeah, and then they dropped 2 together today.
Yeah.
Evo Japan. So I'll say this. I'm surprised because usually I'm spot on the money with this type of stuff, right? When Tekken 8, debuted and they showed you that, June was still alive in that teaser trailer. When they showed us some gameplay or whatever during the heat mechanics, and they had revealed Paul, they revealed Law. I think they revealed Lars, Jack. All those trailers that they showed us, they revealed them. I was 100% sure that once they showed Jun Kazama, they were going to quiet down a little bit. Like, okay, we showed you this for a while. Well, we'll see you, within a half a year. But no, they're keeping at it. So they revealed, like I said, they revealed June, but then they turned around and revealed Ling Xiaoyu, Jin's unofficial love interest. Like they like each other, but they aren't really an idol. Then
I was about to say,
they
what's
turned
the
right
lore there, Lore
around and
Master?
surprised me. Well, it's just that Ling Xiaoyu's been knowing Jin. They went to the same school together. I think Heihachi had the school was named after him or whatever or something like that during the Tekken 3, Tekken Tag days. Jin Kazama, I don't know if BLJ actually brought it up, but Jin Kazama actually has a school outfit. Him and Ling Xiaoyu have a school outfit that they can wear, and that's when they went to school together.
Yep.
Yeah, and she's head over heels for Jen. She, apparently just like in real life, a lot of, I won't say a lot of women. Well, bad boys are in style. We'll just say that. They get the sympathy and the empathy, and I can fix him. And that's kind of Ling Xiaoyu's thing.
Wait. Jin isn't a bad guy, though.
Oh, he's definitely Tekken 6. He definitely was power is everything. Woo, woo, woo. Just like Tekken 7.
That was the Azazel one, right?
Yeah.
That's the one where you find Azazel at the end? Yeah. So didn't he come out later,
and also,
in one of the
Tekken
endings
5,
of that game, and he says, yeah, go ahead.
No. Even so, one of the endings, that's Tekken 5 when he goes rogue. That's what I was about to tell you right now. Tekken 5, he still was emo because he was recovering from Heihachi betraying him. You remember, this was a couple of episodes back, like actually a lot of episodes back. And let's see if I got my voice acting skills. But I think we were talking about costumes and we were talking about Jin. And we got on the topic, lore, how Heihachi betrayed Jin Kazama. And then I was like, Grandpa, how could you do that? You remember when I did that? That was like 20 episodes ago. Mm-hmm. But basically, Heihachi blasted Jin in the head, and that betrayed Jin's trust, everything he stood for. And the ending, he turns, that's when he first turns to Devil Jin and he slams Heihachi, and he flies away. So after that, I think it's Tekken 4. It wasn't even Tekken 5. Tekken 4 is when he debuts with the hoodie, and that's when he's emo.
And he's unlearned the Mishima
I hate
style,
everyone.
right?
Get away from me. Yeah. So that's when he begins his transformation, and Ling Xiaoyu takes note of that, and she begins to try to save him. She wants the old Jin back in Tekken 3 where they were buddies, and yada yada yada. Let's jump to Tekken 5. He's still emo Jin, and at the end of Tekken 5, where he canonically wins, he sits in that chair and he turns bad. So Tekken 6, he wages war to flush Kazuya out, I believe, or something like that. He accidentally blows up Miguel's sister. Hold on. Let me get this lore out right quick. He accidentally ruins Miguel's sister's wedding. So now Miguel is mad and he wants to beat up Jin. Yeah. And 7, he carries that same bad boy attitude. Power is everything. Now magically Tekken 8, his mom comes back. Mommy! And now he's, power isn't everything. Strength isn't everything. So you know how they jump around with these stories.
Okay. So what I was going to say was, from my knowledge of Tekken 6, Jin states that he was only causing all this war to draw out Azazel because he knew he would show up eventually, and he wanted to draw him out while he was there to stop him. And that was the only reason that he caused all the wars.
Okay. And that's so cool, but he's still causing death and destruction. And man, I hope it ain't no Namco super fans out there, but I think Azazel his origins was so lazily wrote in. Like they didn't give us no hints that it was an evil entity or nothing. They just made Jin bad, and he was like, "Oh, this is why it's an evil entity underground. That's why I did it." Like I wasn't really rocking with that. It is.
Azazel was one of the possibly the worst Tekken boss.
Yeah, but we got in this whole side chat because I said, he's a bad boy. I can fix him. But back to Ling.
So they announced
she's head over heels for Jin, and what do you mean they announced Azazel? What are you talking about?
They announced Azazel for Tekken 8. He's coming back.
No, he's not. You really had me sit here pausing. But how do y'all feel about Ling's, her aesthetic, her moveset? Did y'all look at the trailer?
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of her outfit. The orange and black, love it. Looks real good.
Yeah.
Looks real good.
Yep.
I feel like
Redesign
it's
looks
matured
really good.
along with her. You know, usually she has like Tekken 3, she looked like a little Chucky doll. Like Tekken 3, she kind of looked atrocious to me, but that's just my opinion. I did not like her look in Tekken 3, but she
I mean,
evolves each
none of
game.
the characters really look
And
that
I think
good
she
in
has a
Tekken 3.
very but she was one of the worst. But I just feel like Tekken 8, she
Yeah.
looks really, really good.
That and Jen's alternate costume, that biker outfit. I don't know what that mess was.
You keep bringing that up. Yeah.
Not worse than that. But
Right.
her moves in the trailer looked really good, though. She looked like she had some new tricks, you know what I mean? And a lot of old tricks at the same time. But like her movement was very fluid. Like I'm definitely a fan of her. Like
Yeah.
this particular Tekken, all the trailers that they're showing, like I really want to try out everyone, just at least a couple matches or so. You know what I'm saying? Like they're making everybody look very interesting. You know what I mean? And she's definitely one of those for me. So she was good.
The
Which
best
actually,
way
it's
that I
funny
can
you say
describe how. Oh, go ahead, Lambo.
I was going to say, it's funny you say that you want to try out every character, because one thing they mentioned was that they put in, I forget what they called it, but they put in a system to where you could, in the middle of a match, press some button and it would put the character on simplified controls so that you could try them out more easily without having to go through and learn their move list.
Well, I guess it's something that we have to see how it works when it comes out. But if they were to do that, then how would you actually learn the character if you can't? Well, if you're not looking at their move list and you're just pressing one or two buttons to do their moves, you know what I mean?
I think they go
Well, the
off
idea
of
is
just
that you-
character aesthetic and the way they move and stuff like that.
Okay.
You
And the
ain't
idea is
dug
that you
deep
only use
into
it
learning their
just to test
moveset.
them out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
So what I was gonna say, man, is you know, when we started this podcast back in June, you know, we didn't bring up Tekken too much. You know, we started bringing it up, you know, once we saw the trailer. But yeah, June. Imagine that. But what I want to say is, you know, Tekken. I've always been a fan of Tekken. I'm more of a fan of its little brother or little sister, whatever you refer to, Soul Calibur. But Tekken pretty much is, you know, I'm like, it's Tekken. I'm sitting there eating my cereal, and they just keep showing these amazing trailer after amazing trailer or gameplay, or Jin and Kazuya fighting in that volcano, and you sit there eating your cereal, and you look, and you like mid bite, you know, you got milk dripping down your chin, and you're like, well, I'll be damned. Like, that's how I feel with each trailer that's coming out. Like, it's crazy, you know, like I'm just sitting there like, wow, like, and I'm not saying that wow lightly. Like, they're really wowing me. Like when Paul and Law were in that Gladiators Coliseum and they were fighting each other, and Paul gets to come in stunting and he yells Yahoo. Like, it's just stuff like that that is drawing me in. And Bill J, we talked about it last time. I'm not going to give these two a lot of spotlight. We talked about him, but when Law flexes up, you know, and he's just buffed up, I'm like, it's just drawing me in. Like, the aesthetic is crazy good. And it's like, last week, a lot of content creators got to go to Bandai and test out the game. And they're like, these videos aren't going to do it justice. It looks like amazing in person. So I can't wait till we actually get either a beta or the full game out, and we can see how great this game looks, you know. But I'm going to go ahead and put the spotlight on another character. They also revealed Jen's cousin, Asuka. And she's running around as her usual cheery self, like a tomboy. She gets her bike entrance as well, her bicycle. And now she has on, I can't remember what style of hat that is, but it made me laugh. She got this big ass hat on and she's smiling under it or whatever. And just like BLJ said, she still looks like our classic Asuka, but she definitely got some upgrades in regards to moveset and technique, you know. So I was going to ask you, how do you feel about her?
In her trailer, she was doing like this point pose after she did certain moves. So I'm not sure if that's like a buff to like a certain move or like a buff to her whole move set or to the like a counter hit on the next hit type thing. I don't know, but she would do a move and then she'll point and then there was like this blue aura that came around her body sort of when she would do it. So that's definitely new for her.
You probably talking about you sure you're not talking about the heat?
No, it's not heat. No. She would do a move and then like point forward, like, and then like this blue stuff will come over her body very briefly. So it looks like a buff. It's definitely different from the heat system.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, she definitely looked really good. I like
I have to go back and check that out.
How fast she moves, and a lot of her moves are very flashy, and I like flashy characters. Her rage art was very impressive.
I was just gonna say they gave her a new rage art, but the past few games, I believe, she has like a punch, like her rage drive in Tekken 7. I think she had that punch, but now they've incorporated that into her rage art on this one. It looks really, really good. So, you know, I'm with it. I'm looking forward to seeing, you know, who mains her. And another thing, and this is just conspiracy corner here, but can there be Asuka without no Lily? Do you think Lily's going to sit this one out? Or do you think Lily's going to come too? Because Asuka to me is Tekken's Sakura, and Lily is Tekken's Karin from Street Fighter. So do you think they're going to let her sit out? Or you think she's going to appear? What do you think, Bill?
You know, to be honest with you, I'm not really a fan of her character like that. So
really,
I never really was like, maybe it's a moveset or something. I don't know. But like, whenever I watch people play her, she's just not for me. I don't dislike her. Like, I think she sucks like Hakan or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But I don't know. Just her aesthetic. Like, it's just not.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So get this voice acting rant. Try to make it short.
Oh,
so Lily, she was introduced in Tekken 5, I believe. Honestly, it might have been Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection. I can't remember. But she definitely was part of the Tekken 5 universe. And that was before they started trying to closely align the characters with their nationalities. So she just sounded like a pampered, spoiled brat, right?
Mm-hmm.
So later in Tekken Tag 2, they gave her this French, really seductive, really calm French voice. I think I ranted about this before. I do want to say it's lazy, but at the same time, I try to be respectful and maybe it costs too much. But they would give her the new voice lines, you know, being French. But when you fight her in game, she still sounds like that spoiled brat. So it was off. And they did the same thing with Julia in Tekken 7, where she has this streamer voice, streamer personality. But when she fights or when she gets KO'd, she sounds like the old Julia. I did not like that. But anyways, Lily, not trying to rant too much. I hope if they bring her back that she has that seductive, calm French voice, you know, the whole way through. There's another character that I'm gonna nitpick on their voice over here in a little bit. It's not a huge nitpick, but they're actually on our, you know, list of characters that we are talking about right now. But we still got Jen's mom to talk about too. So she's next. All these characters we talking about are related to Jen in some way. You know, you got Ling, you know, his potential love interest. You got Asuka, his cousin, and then whenever we done talking about Asuka, we're gonna jump to June.
Yeah.
So I'm just letting y'all say what y'all got to say.
Oh yeah, that's my. I don't know if she'll make it into the game.
She's so forgettable.
Are you a BLJ? I don't know. I don't think she's forgettable.
I was gonna say she's so forgettable.
I think they're gonna
didn't even remember who she was until halfway through your monologue.
Oh man. Oh, okay. Well, through my monologue. But yeah, I think they're gonna revamp her, and then she'll get. I don't know if she has a huge fan base or not, but I hope she comes back. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. Moving on to June.
Oh, yeah. Jen's mama, the one that scared some sense into him. Now he's acting all good because his mama's running around.
Gotta get that
so
act
what do y'all
right
think about her?
I will say, right? So June was in Tekken 1 and Tekken 2. She had her whole move set, and then they put her in Tekken Tag 1 and 2, you know. And then after that, it was kind of like, oh, well, people, we assume that she's dead or whatever, right? So when they put her in Tekken 8 and they showed off her doing her moves in the trailer, she didn't really, I feel like she didn't keep a lot of her old moves like that she passed on to Asuka. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like Asuka had a lot of the classic moves that June had in Tekken 2 and 1. And when they showed June's moves, they were like, I mean, not all of them were different, but her moveset is definitely different from Asuka's, you know what I mean? Which is a welcome change for sure.
Yeah.
But she just didn't have a classic 3-wing circus. You remember that move? Well, I think it's 1 and 4 when she do like the low kick into the punch, you know what I mean? Asuka showed that in her trailer, but you didn't see that in June's trailer, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. Very, very different, very different.
It seems, very different, but it seems like, I don't want to say she's possessed, but it's more like she's blessed by some entity now. She has like some holy powers.
Yeah.
Purification
angel
powers,
confirmed.
like a priestess. Yeah, something like that. And she has these powers, and she's like, with these powers, something, like I'll cleanse corruption or something. But my quick take on it, since I'm doing monologues, I think she looks very good. I love the fact that
her costume is dope. It looks really good.
Yeah, I love the fact that she's still trying to save Kazuya. Like, he's done all this stuff, but she just feels that somewhere in his core is, a lonely, tortured soul, and she wants to help him. So I'm interested to see where the story goes.
And I'm going to be a weeb for a
Told
minute.
you, man, those bad boys.
I even noticed that she still calls him Kazuya-san. So she still respects him and wants to help him rather than just calling him Kazuya. Just like Kazuya refers to Jin, he just calls him Jin Kazama. He doesn't say any honorifics to his name. So,
Kazama Jin! Yeah.
Yeah. But she still calls him Kazuya-san because she cares. Was Amber disagreeing with me?
I got you.
I don't know what Amber on
Amber
right
knows
now.
more
She
about
tripping.
honorifics.
But yeah, one thing I do want to point out in that trailer also is Kazuya, he's all gruff and mean, but when he sees her, his guard falls. So very interesting.
Get away from me, woman.
Yeah, very interested to see what happens. He definitely didn't do that with her, but very interested to see where their story goes.
For sure.
Yeah.
Jen, not Jen, but Jen, she had some different moves as well. She had like a move that she was doing, and it was like a spark come from the ground and hit you or something. It was like not a projectile, but it was like she would do a move, and then the after effect of the move, like it would explode the ground and hit the other character. So different stuff going on. I don't even know how to describe it, but definitely different from her.
She's got the power of heaven to leche.
I guess so.
Yeah.
God is on her side for sure.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So we're plowing through these trailers, and I want to bring up our last trailer we're going to talk about right quick. It's not surprising that this character is in the game, but I wasn't expecting them to reveal him so early. And they also gave him a cool ass title. He's known as the Grand Master of Drip. And that is none other than the Wing Chun practitioner, Leroy Smith. And I was very surprised that he touched down, so early. And one thing, remember, like a couple minutes ago, I had a voice acting nitpick. His original OG voice actor is not voicing him in this iteration of Leroy. And you can definitely notice that it's not the original voice actor. But his new voice actor, which Lambo is a big fan of, he actually did a great job. It's just me, when you used to hearing a certain character, like one of his lines, time to take out the trash, the other voice actor said it, and you could tell it was not the same. And it's another one. It's actually Looney's favorite. One of them, he's like, you're going out with nothing to show for it, it's different. It doesn't sound the same, but it is what it is. Tomato, tomato. I'm looking forward to Leroy's return in Tekken 8. He looks really good. And Sugar, they gave her a cute little onesie or a hoodie she has on. Sugar is his pet bulldog, and she's animated as ever.
Really good.
And I really like that trailer. Yeah, and the Wing Chun, they captured it in exquisite, beautiful detail. And I think Leroy's trailer was exceptionally well done. So, and you won't know one thing before I pass it to y'all. I was expecting the comments to just be negative, hate-filled because of how busted he was in 7. I didn't see any of that. Surprisingly, they were happy he was back. So I'm glad that he's getting the reception that, his initial reception in Tekken 7 was, oh my God, this character is goated. And now he's back in Tekken 8 and they're like, oh my God, goated is back.
He dropped in Tekken 7 and wasn't the next tournament 7 out of 8 of the top 8 was Leroy, right?
Yep.
Yeah. It was very controversial.
I'm pretty sure they fixed him.
So you mind learning us up right quick on his? Yeah. You mind learning us up real quick on his voice actor?
On Bo Billingsley?
Yeah, that's who he's voiced by, right? I just thought you were going to tell us who he's voiced by and what you know him from.
Yeah. So what I know him from the most, and what a lot of people probably know him from, is from the anime Cowboy Bebop. He plays the character Jet Black, which is one of the main characters in the show. Does a fantastic job in that role. Gamers, if you don't watch anime, but you're like me and you play Devil May Cry, if you played Devil May Cry 5, you'll know him as Morrison, Dante's broker that brings him the job that he takes in Devil May Cry 5. And he's got a bunch of other credits to his name from video games and anime. He's in all kinds of stuff. I guarantee you've heard him before, even if you don't know his name. He's one of those greats like Phil Lamar that's just all over the place.
That is what's up.
Cool.
Appreciate the little voiceover lesson. For once, it's not me.
I was very surprised you didn't know who it was. I thought for sure you would know Bo Billingsley.
No, guess not.
No, I do not.
No.
Not. But
what about you, BLJ? What'd you think about Leroy?
Leroy was very handsy. All his moves are very 100-hand slappy-ish. Which is not a bad thing. Punches. I'm not gonna lie, man. I felt like I was watching like an old Steven Seagal fight scene. And all his fight scenes was just all hands. He didn't really do any kicks. It was he just beat people up with a whole bunch of taps. It's kind of what it looked like watching.
Steven Seagal just waved his hands around and things happened. But
things happened. That's funny.
Yeah,
he's definitely not one of my favorite.
I'm not going to get into why he's not. Is that what you said?
No, he's not for sure. No.
Yeah, he's definitely not a favorite or even close. But
I mean, I guess
before we get onto that topic,
another time. But
another episode of TYFP Off the Grid.
But now, what I was going to ask you guys is, in Tekken 7, does Leroy have more than one stick move? Or is it just the rage? He has 2?
I don't quote me on that. I thought he had 2. I know you can use it only once a match, but I thought he had 2 different stick attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them was so plus it just made people flip out. Like Bill J said, one of them he can use once a match. And you said his rage drive was his stick too?
That might have been the second move. Like he had a regular move and then he had the rage drive as a thing.
Probably so. He also could call out his pet bulldog and she could hit you. But sometimes she would just come out and just stare at the screen all adorable and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Definitely a unique character for sure. And fun fact, I think I told y'all this off the grid. But Tekken 7, they made the oddball choice to include Negan. I still think that is one of the most WTF choices that I have ever
very
witnessed,
random.
experienced. But they definitely tried to recruit King Ezekiel as well. If you notice, King Ezekiel and Leroy have the same like hair, the dreaded hair, whatever. King Ezekiel has a companion, a female
Who's
tiger
that?
named Shiva. Leroy, King Ezekiel is off of The Walking Dead.
Mm.
Probably didn't get that far. But King
I didn't even watch
Ezekiel,
it.
yeah, he has a pet tiger. Okay, he has a pet tiger named Shiva. And Leroy has a pet bulldog named Sugar. They're both female. And both of the gentlemen of African descent. And they have graying dreads. But they deviated from that because they weren't able to secure the license for King Ezekiel. They only got Negan. So they made their own character in Leroy Smith.
Mm.
And it actually was a glow up because people saw Leroy and they went freaking, nuts over Leroy. Oh my goodness, this character is so cool. So that's a win for them because now they don't have to worry about licensing because that's their character that they made.
Mm-hmm.
So that's some cool trivia for you, whatever.
Okay.
It's always interesting hearing those kinds of stories.
That's it for the character reveals, right?
Yeah, but
we got all
it's
four of
one
them, right?
more thing Tekken related. Yeah, one more thing we got Tekken related.
Oh, it's definitely more Tekken stuff.
BLJ
characters, yeah.
Oh yeah,
yeah. No, I just
a lot of Tekken stuff.
Pretty much. Oh, see, I didn't even know that. Y'all gonna have to fill me in. I just wanted to talk about BLJ's wish that they be more, old school and more, let the characters express themselves more, right? So during all that Tekken mania, I'm gonna let BLJ take it after this, but they brought back character specific intros, and that's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna let BLJ handle it.
Take us home, BLJ.
Yo.
That was unexpected.
So check this out, right? Check this out, right? So I want to say there's been a few episodes that I've mentioned just old school Street Fighter having those specific intros with certain characters. Like in the Alpha series, when Ryu and Ken would start a fight, Ken would have Ryu in a headlock and then Ryu would throw him off. Or if Sagat was fighting Adon, they would have like this Muay Thai like exchange before the fight. If you had Guy and Cody fight, they would kick the cans and do the whole not Streets of Rage. What's the game they were from? What's the game that they're from? Man?
Who you talking about?
What's the beat 'em up game that they're
Cody
from originally?
and Guy?
I forget the name. But yeah.
Oh, Final Fight.
Yeah, they have a Final Fight intro where they're kicking the cans and yeah. So, anyways, I miss those type of things in fighting games in general, not just Street Fighter, just fighting games. You know what I mean? So I kind of lost my stuff, man. All these trailers coming out and this amazing gameplay happening and hitting people through walls and stuff. But as soon as I saw like Lars and Jen like do a fist bump, well, I don't know if you call it like a fist bump, but they like punched each other's hands or whatever before the round.
It was a fist bump.
It was like an aggressive fist bump, I guess, because there was like a lot of electricity or whatever around it. But anyways, when I saw that, I was like, man, this is the best part of all this Tekken stuff I've seen. And then it went on to show Jen and Ling having a different interaction before a match. You know what I mean? Then I saw Paul have a specific intro before a match. Like the little details like that gets me super excited. It just adds more personality to the characters. You know what I mean? It's almost like you can learn a little bit more about them without them actually having to speak, or you can kind of get an idea of, what's going on in their mind or like what they're into or whatever, you know what I mean? And on top of that, it just adds a lot of variety. Like for somebody who is, let's say they're not a fan of playing Tekken, but if they're just watching people play, they're watching a tournament, and after every round, like these characters have different intros before like different little interactions before each round or whatever. It's just very visually pleasing. Like it's a very cool thing to add into the game. And I am a huge fan of it. You know what I mean? And I feel like these days, the closest we get to that is maybe like a Mortal Kombat game where the intros are like the same, but they have different dialogue. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
but so far I've seen Jen had a different intro like with Lars, and he had a different like a different little cinematic before the fight. He had one with Lars, and then he had a different one with Xiao Yu, like completely different dialogue, completely different camera angles and stuff like that. So stuff like that is very like, for me, very entertaining. Like if a game comes out and they, even if let's say Street Fighter 5 right now, right, and it was like DLC, we're adding character interactions before every match, I might buy it just so I can see them all. You know what I'm saying? Like I love those type of things. So I'm super excited that I saw that in the trailer. Like Tekken 8, like right now they're swinging for the fences, hitting a whole bunch of home runs, and they're really not missing on a lot of cylinders. You know what I mean? So Tekken is looking great, and that for me. Oh, and then another thing, we had an episode about stage transitions. Many months back, right? Mm-hmm. They showed it was in between like an actual round. It was like going into round 2, and it showed like a floor like cave in, and then the characters fell to the next part of the stage to start the new round. Now that's not like entirely new to Tekken, but with the addition of that and the character, animations and stuff before each round, like it just adds to the visual flair of Tekken. And then another small detail with the so Tekken has had they're no stranger to having characters break through walls and stuff like that. That was in Tekken Tag and Tekken 7. You know what I mean? But I want to say in Tekken 7, when people will hit people through walls, you would see the impact of them getting hit and them flying through the wall, and then the camera would cut to the next stage, and you just see the character fall from the top of the screen onto the ground onto the next level of the stage, right? In Tekken 7, you see the whole thing play through. You see people get hit through the wall, and you can watch. Oh, Tekken 8, I'm sorry. You can see the whole body hit through the wall and just follow them down until they hit the ground. Like everything is just looking so masterful with Tekken 8. Like I'm really loving
quality of life.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that right there
quality
is a small change.
Changes.
But for me, it means like a whole lot, so Tekken is looking amazing.
Yeah. Heavy impact.
So I got a question for you, young man.
What's up?
Okay.
So does this mean that Tekken 8 is now more desirable than Street Fighter 6 for you?
If I'm being completely honest with you, man, both games are swinging for the fences and not really dropping the ball at any point. But I want to say everything that I'm seeing with Tekken right now, like it is leaning more towards like, man, I might like that more, And who knows, when both games come out, I might play Street Fighter more than whatever. But right now, everything that I'm seeing with Tekken, the new costumes, the new stages. Oh, we didn't even talk about the stage where the June trailer. That stage is amazing. For me, like the little stuff, like there's water on the stage and then there's land on the stage. And then you can be fighting in the water and the water splashing up and everything. And then you can go on land. And it just all looks so good. Like it's I can tell that a lot of love and care. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
when I saw that, that's exactly what I thought. But a lot of love and care they put into the game.
6. That's the one that reminds me. Remember that stage on Tekken 6 is Mystic Forest?
Oh, that's the one that said that's my music.
That's what that stage reminds me of.
Yeah.
Mystic Forest.
And then on top of that, the New York stage, I've seen that stage with 3 different times a day. You've seen it during the day, you've seen it at nighttime, and you've seen it like midday where the sun is like kind of setting and everything's kind of got like an orange tip to it because I didn't catch the third one. You know what I mean? Yeah. And all of them look good. All of them look really good. So I wonder if that's if like in between each round, like the time of day will change, or like will it be its own level?
That'd
like
be cool.
This stage daytime, this stage nighttime. I don't know, but they all look good.
They'd steal that from Soul Calibur if that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they are published by the same company, so Makes sense. Mm-hmm.
But to answer your question,
yeah, back to what me and Lambo was saying.
Tekken is up there above Street Fighter right now. Not even gonna lie, man. It's looking good. Looking good.
Above Street Fighter. Okay.
Never thought I'd hear that. Yeah,
you heard it here first, folks.
But yeah, me and Lambo say this, and I'm not gonna linger on it long. But like I said, we mentioned it earlier. The speed they're releasing these trailers, I'd really be surprised if this game was a year out. I'd be really surprised. That means they're going to have a huge roster if they're revealing these characters at this rate. So I don't know. We'll see. They already have playable builds of it out to get people's feedback.
Yep.
To me, that feedback, they can just go in and fine tune it. Like the core mechanics are there. They can just go in and fine tune what everyone's concerns are and have a good product, great product, and make it go gold. And next thing you know, we'll be playing Tekken. I want to play it before the end of this year. We're only in the third. Well, we're in the fourth month now. 3 months have passed. We're working on the fourth month. I want to play
6 months
for the year. Oh, okay. Well, here's hoping, right? We'll see.
I could be wrong, but I kind of feel like we might be about 6 months out. I don't know if it'd be much faster than that, but it's kind of what I'm feeling right now.
I want them to take their time, but I hope it's not a year from now. I hope, we still on the pod and we're like, remember we said it was coming out in 6 months, or we are a year and it ain't here. I hope we get to play it before then. But
hey,
welcome to Thank You for
question
Playing
for both
episode
of y'all,
837.
Now, question for both of y'all, right?
Tekken 8.
The visual part of Tekken, I just want to hear your opinions on it. So, Tekken has like tracking moves, right? Like moves, if you sidestep them, you could still possibly get hit by them because it's tracking you or whatever. I noticed in the trailer and just like developer gameplay matches, all the tracking moves have like this, like when they swing, there's like a ray of light that follows the limb that's being swung. You know what I mean? And then like a lot of other moves. Yeah, like it's just like it's a lot like particle effects. Like it's just a lot of them.
Yeah.
When characters are swinging or kicking or whatever. How do you guys feel about that, like visually? Because that hasn't really been in Tekken like this. Like it's in Tekken, but like the visual part of it, it's not really as flourish like it is in Tekken 8. You know,
it's not as flourish, but it's still tracking moves still had a visual flair. They just adding on to it. I liked it in Tekken 7. I like it in Tekken 8.
Yeah.
Tekken 8, they tracking moves, they still had those particles showing you that it was a tracking move.
I just like now they just like lit up way more. Like you can really see the
Yeah.
For
me and Toro both, coming from Soul Calibur, we're used to a bunch of light things happening on the screen. I mean, every time you swing your weapon, there's a light trail. So,
a color trail.
I mean, that kind of stuff. I don't think that would bother me at all.
Oh no, I think it looks great. I just feel like in this particular Tekken, like it's a lot of it. Even when I think when you get hit with a move that Tekken, my bad. When you get hit with moves that take chip damage, the person taking the chip damage, their whole body kind of glows orange. Like they just got a lot of different little things in the game, like visually.
Yeah.
So.
Definitely can't wait to get the game and unpack all that stuff because, man, if it comes out this year, then I might take me some time off. I didn't plan on taking no time off for SF6, but Tekken drops. I'm probably going to take some time off and unpack that because I know the scene, the lobbies, the mugs are going to be live. It's going to be a good time, so we'll see. Most definitely see.
Is that all the Tekken news?
We should have named it. Yeah. I think we about done. I don't think we should have just named this a Tekken stream because and we mainly just talked about Tekken, but I'm getting ready to
Tekken just is nonstop right now.
So people thought,
I'll bring up one more thing before you park that bus. But last pod I mentioned the new Sifu update, and I will say with that update, it's definitely added some hours of gameplay on my end because it's basically survival.
Well, why don't you show us some? Why don't you show us some gameplay here? Lambo might already have, open his third eye, and we might have stock footage of you playing it right here. So disregard me saying that if it's stock footage of Sifu already playing. But go ahead, continue.
No, I just feel like it's put together well, right? So I would have been happy with just different levels. They just have enemies and you fight them, fight waves of enemies, and that's it, right? And that's pretty much what it is, but they have different levels with different objectives, right? So you have the levels where you're just fighting waves of enemies. Then you have the levels where you're fighting to get a high score. You have the levels where you're trying to capture an area, right? Like you have to run to this zone and beat up these characters in this amount of time, and then we'll go to the next zone and beat up these characters in an amount of time. You know what I mean? And then
sounds fun.
And then they have it where each level, like your character has a different outfit. You know, so some of the stuff that you didn't unlock during the main story, like in this mode, he has different outfits, you know, or they might give you a weapon that's unbreakable so you can use throughout the whole level. You know what I mean? So
that's cool.
It's not just fighting waves of enemies and that's it, but they actually have like different objectives while you're doing it. So, you know, if you're trying to get because you can get 1 to 2 to 3 stars, right? 3 being like the best of each level.
Already?
Yeah. So like,
okay. For
me, I'm trying to get 3 stars on every level. I got most of them. Some only got 2. Some only got like 1. Good. But I know for me, like it's really going to add like a lot of replay value for me. So I've definitely been putting that time in it. It's really fun. It's been a good time.
Put in another 40 hours just this week.
Y'all heard it. Go pick up Sifu. Yeah, y'all go pick up Sifu so y'all can experience the fun. But that's what's up. Appreciate you for letting everybody know. I'm gonna say one more thing. I don't plan on having a 20-minute discussion. I'm just finna say this quote, and then I'm gonna say believe it when I see it after it. So, spoiler alert, I'm gonna say believe it when I see it. I saw today that they claim that Ed Boon teased the Mortal Kombat 12 announcement very soon. I'll believe it when I see it. That's all I want to say. And now I'll park the party wagon.
That sounds about right.
It'll happen tomorrow, right after we're done recording.
Yeah, that's it. But I will say that if they do drop it within this next week, I hope to be amazed. I want to see if Tekken has a direct competitor, because right now I'm convinced that Tekken is just undisputed. Like, I just don't see something fighting game wise having as much as a shockwave impact as Tekken 8. Tekken 8 has been just crushing.
And now that you say that, and I know you say you didn't want to make this 20 minutes, I'm gonna make it one minute, right? But the fact that you say that,
60 seconds.
The fact that you say that, I'm on board with that. But the other game, Street Fighter, let's say Tekken is a 9 out of 10, right? Or a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Street Fighter is literally like 9 point. It's like right under it. Like both of these games are looking that good. So for fighting game fans, like
I agree.
For fighting game fans, like there's really no loss here. And if MK comes out, like mind blown. We have so much time to just like delve into these games, you know what I mean? So as a fighting game fan, man, this is a great time, man. It's a great time for sure.
Lambo been looking at the camera all seductive or menacingly for the last minute. But yeah. What do you think, sir? Is that about to wrap it up? Mainly?
What if?
Shit.
What if MK12 is a 3D fighter?
Man, do you know how many people would be happy but sad at the same time? You definitely gonna have.
What if it's a 3D fighter and they did it right?
In-house. I wouldn't be mad at it,
you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a 2D fighter for a while, but I mean, if they do 3D again, I wouldn't be mad at it.
Take some cues from Tekken. You know, they're rebuilding the entire universe. Spoiler alert. So now's the time to make changes like that if they're going to.
I'm going to say this, and I'm going to park this bus. If this man reveals this Mortal Kombat 12 trailer and it's 3D, then you really do have the third eye. I'm definitely going to discuss that in a future podcast, but that would be funny. With the knowledge and technology they have now, if MK12 is 3D, like I said, I would not be upset.
Yeah.
You know what would make that even better? Polarizing opinion, make that 3D era game better. I'm going to tell y'all right now. What will make that better? What will make it probably a perfect 10 is
if they put Onaga
trailer
in
they reveal Cobra.
said they were gonna Cobra.
Lord.
Hey, I wouldn't be mad at it. They made him
Sam's
look
choice
cool. Like,
Ken.
it's possible. Just make him look good, you know?
Yeah.
Sam's great value, Ken. I don't care.
Yep.
Give him his Kaylee sticks and he's all cool. You know? Yeah. So, yeah. But all right, y'all. That about does it. I'm going to park this party wagon. Want to thank y'all. Apparently, this was a very heavily Tekken themed podcast, but there was a lot of Tekken news. But
Blame it on Harada.
as usual, yeah, it's been an honor, and thank y'all for pulling up y'all virtual chairs. And I'm gonna throw it to BLJ and Lambo.
You Lambonus.
I like that awkward silence. Who don't know? Say something.
Nah, I was just staring at you, BLJ. I was looking into those pretty glasses.
Oh yeah, and that fly shirt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we flexing on one
Distracting.
time. Look at that print. Look at that floral print.
Yeah.
And it's stretchy too, and it breathes. Look at that. Look at that.
But y'all know what it is. Like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you hit that subscribe button there, Chelsea. Come on now. It's been a while. You've been hanging around for a while with us. You know how cool we are. Smash that button. And what about you, BLJ? What you got for the folks?
Just remember, thank you for playing video games, and thank you for playing this podcast. And remember, insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. And then I'm out.
Yep.
Wise words with BLJ.
Yeah.
See you guys next
All
week.
right, let's go play some Tekken Tag 2.
Yes!
I'm with it.
Maybe it's a new